Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's adventure, we're out with the overland truck, the rooftop tent, and we even got the diesel heater set up on this adventure because cold air is finally starting to set in overnight and early in the morning. I don't think we're going to need it tonight. I don't think we're going to need it today at all, but certainly in the morning it will be nice to flick on that heat, dry out the tent of condensation, really be able to just crawl out of the sleeping bag, roll around in some warm air rather than cold air. I do have Boomer and Flint with me. They're going to be up there with me as well. And you guys will probably see that there's quite a few changes to the truck. I'm going to try and mention that in this video, not touch on it a whole lot, but I will be doing an updated truck build video very soon because there are some other major upgrades that are going to be coming for the truck. But we've got everything set up right now. Let's get started on a hot coffee. All right, guys, we've got a cup of coffee on the go right now, and it is definitely needed. Today is actually somewhat cool out. It's about 17 degrees Celsius right now. It's going to go down to about 5 or 6 degrees Celsius later tonight into the morning, and then warm back up again tomorrow. It is very cloudy right now. I did not check the weather, but it feels like it could rain, so fingers crossed. I would really enjoy that. So, while I'm enjoying my coffee, I might as well stop and explain a few things that have been going on with the truck. As you guys can see, some things have changed quite a bit. First off, the front end of the truck has an overhaul. If you guys are subscribed to my subscription tab on my Instagram, the link is down in the description, you guys will be pretty much already see what has gone on. Everything that is behind the scenes on the channel is being put on that subscription tab. Go and check it out. If you're subscribed to that, you would have already seen a lot of the stuff behind the scenes being done. This bumper was an absolute nightmare to put on the truck. It arrived, it was supposed to fit the truck, it did not. It was absolutely the wrong bumper, so I got out the welder, got out the angle grinder, got some scrap steel. It fits now. It's on, it's very tight, it's very secure. I'm still awaiting the winch to put in there and a couple of other things, but we do have the lights wired up, the blackout grill as well. Going to be doing some black headlights to tie in the whole truck. And I do believe it's going to be going up 2 more inches with a final set of much larger tires. I'm leaning more towards a 37-inch tire. I'm not too sure. The last Ram that I had was on 40-inch tires. I don't want to go that big, but I don't want to stay as small as what's on there right now. Definitely going to a 35 or a 37. We'll see how much room I have in there once the truck is lifted just a little bit more, just to set the geometry in the steering correct. In the rear of the truck, I'll show you that in just a minute, I did build a cage for camp security with a door. Again, broke out the welder. I've been busy the last 2 weeks ripping this truck apart, putting it back together, getting it to a state where I can finally do some longer road trips. I even invested in Starlink. All right, so after having a brief look at the front of the truck, the bumper set up, there will be a winch going in there, a couple more lights going on there because right now the truck just has white lights. I don't have anything amber for cutting through dust, snow, or rain. Definitely need some lights low in the bumper because the truck is going to be really high up. Coming back to the rear of the truck, this tailgate latch, a little bit of mesh up top there you guys can see to protect, and metal in the front so you can't reach in from the window where the cap separates from the cab of the truck. This gate was all scrap metal, bed rails, all just pieces laying around. I'm a huge fan of using junk and making something very, very purposeful and useful. This, if this were on the market, would probably cost about 300 to 400 Canadian dollars. It cost me about $20 in paint and about an hour and a half, 2 hours with the welder. Not bad. So this lift gate here, what I did is I made it so it basically just drops right down and then it locks to the back of the truck with a padlock. Right now I just have a locking ring on there because I'm right next to the truck. Iron gate basically is what it is. So you can't get in, you can't take anything large out of the back of the truck. The tailgate does lock, the deck system locks, everything locks, and this is even very, very useful for hanging things and mounting other things. If I wanted to mount traction boards to the inside, I could. All kinds of things. So this was just something that I was messing around with. I wanted to really secure the back of the truck just because I'm tired of parking the truck places that are really beautiful and not being able to hike that far away from the truck when I'm in areas that I don't plan on staying that long. So I'm not going to set up camp. I pull in, I want to go fishing, or I want to climb a mountain. I want to be able to go and do that and come back and not worry about things going missing out of the truck. This way, I can do that. So like I was mentioning earlier, I'll touch on a few things with the truck and the progress, where things are at. I'm not going to do a huge deep dive on this video, so don't worry. We'll be back to camping in just a moment. The diesel heater is new. This is the last thing I'm going to touch on today. The diesel heater happened to mount on the bulkhead of the truck bed, literally slides in between the rack and the truck bed, securing itself. That was not intended. That was actually completely by chance, just by luck. It actually slid in there. There's little metal tabs that locked in. I did add a couple carabiners and rope up here, a little bit of paracord just to secure it in so it's not going to move. This diesel heater is an 8 kilowatt. The exhaust just pointing straight down. I've got the hose going up inside of the tent, and it is remote controlled. You guys will notice in the beginning of the video, I did attach the power cables. This is what I want to mention. The power cables run up and down underneath of the truck. If you guys caught the last video where I did a little bit of an electrical video showing you guys how the truck is wired, if you guys saw that, you already know what's going on. If not, I will do my best to add the link in the description so you can go back and see how this entire truck is wired, because there is 400 watts of solar up on the roof that do charge everything inside of the truck. So this cable runs, I just tucked it in between the truck bed, runs underneath of the truck into the ram boxes where little coolers are on the floor of the truck, and I tapped into that, put a waterproof connector on there, and it goes up inside to the Jackery or whatever battery source I'm using that particular day. The fridge is plugged into it, this is going to be plugged into it, then I could take the remote to this up top tonight, and then tomorrow all I gotta do, hit the remote, turn on the diesel heater, and within 10 minutes it'll be roasting hot in there. So that's the setup with this, just to run through the truck a little bit. Like I said, we're going to be lifting it a little bit more, much bigger tires, a little bit more lights. I do have to get a Starlink mount because I did end up picking up Starlink, so I'm going to be mounting that as well. And then hopefully, by the time this is all done, we'll be hitting the road on an epic road trip. Alright guys, so for supper this evening is going to be rather interesting because I'm not going to be cooking using any kind of fire, flammable liquid, or gas. I'm going to be doing it all electronically. So I've got my Vitomin flash speed 1500 battery station. I'm going to prop this right up here. That gives me the entire tailgate to do some cooking. Very interesting product. I've had this for a while. I haven't really used it for two reasons. One, I kind of thought it was a gimmick because am I really going to be using electricity to make heat, especially for cooking when outdoors? Well, we're not allowed having fires right now in my area. It's too dry, it's too dangerous, so campfires are a no, which means cooking over an open campfire is a definite no. Sure, I can still use canister stove like I've been doing, which is gas. Can't refill this out of thin air. Sure, you can go and buy more gas and refill that, or the Trangia. I can use a Trangia stove and burn liquid fuel, but I still have to go back to town and refill on fuel. Well, using these electric cookers, electricity for me is reusable, or renewable and reusable. I have solar up on the roof. I can drive and charge. I can do all kinds of things. So right now I've got two large battery power stations with me, and I've got an electric kettle and an electric pot and pan. So I'm going to get this out. It's way back here in the rear, the farthest spot in the drawer, because I really haven't been using it a lot. But lately I have, if that makes any sense. Once I took it out camping, there was no fire allowed, and I really wanted to cook in a large frying pan. My large frying pan just doesn't fit well on this canister stove. Sure, I could do it with the Trangia, but I was actually out of fuel, and that's all the fuel that I have with me for the Trangia. So a little bit of an oversight on my part packing to come out here, but I do have this, and this has been working really well the last few days that I've been using it, and I've actually kind of fallen in love with it, oddly enough, if I have the electrical means to use it, which I do, so I'm going to use it. So I'll get this set up and share this with you. This is from Stoke Voltaics. So what it is basically it comes with two pans. This is a pan, like a deep dish skillet, non-stick, and I mean non-stick. Nothing is stuck to the bottom of that. It comes with one heating base. Mine also has a large pot, non-stick pot. These foam inserts protect the non-stick when it's packed away. Pop those back in there. Comes with the lid and this really neat handle. So this handle works for both. It basically clicks on and then locks very well. To unlock it, you can then come over to the pan, lock it in. It works great. So basically how this system works, charge cable or the power cable goes into the base, plugs into the battery. How these work is basically this just gives the pot or the pan the electrical charge. The actual heating element is in the individual cookware. So this has its own heating element, this has its own heating element, so this never gets hot, but these get crazy, crazy hot. They can be set from 200 watts, 400, 600, 800, all the way up to 1,000 watts. Now I know you're going to ask, how long does the battery last? It actually lasts quite a bit. So right now I'm at 98%. I'm going to be cooking 2 hamburgers. A little bit of onion, a little bit of stuff here and there. I'm forecasting it'll probably drop to 95% by the time I'm done cooking. We'll have to see what it does, and I'm even going to crank it right up to 1,000 watts. So, electrical cookware is actually useful. It took me a little bit to figure out why it would be useful for me. And it might not be useful for everybody, but for me specifically, it's actually quite useful because it's free. The energy that I make is free. I'm charging it up with solar, I'm charging it up via DC in the alternator while I'm driving. So I'm literally making my fuel as I drive or sit in the sun. All right, guys, supper is all finished up with, and it is getting quite a bit late and cold outside. So, dogs are up top. Boomer and Flint are basically almost asleep. They were falling asleep out here, brought them up the ladder one at a time. They're done. They're not coming out. It is slightly misting outside with some rain. Yes, I am wearing my tent slippers. So I am also getting a little bit more comfortable. Being out here with no campfire is really almost kind of boring in my personal opinion. It's cooling off, there's no bugs, it's cloudy, it's got that mood where you just want to sit next to a crackling campfire, and we don't have one. But I do have a load of movies saved on my phone, plus I have the Starlink that is fired up right now to watch whatever I want. So I'm going to close the tailgate and call this one done for the evening outside, jump up top and enjoy a little bit of tent life up there. There is a really small short sunset happening just off to the driver's side of the truck. Way out in the clearing there's a rolling hill in a valley, and I can actually see it clear as day up top. So I want to get everything closed up down here and make sure everything's packed up, nothing's going to get blown away or ruined. The diesel heater is plugged into the 12-volt port in one of the battery stations, and the refrigerator is always plugged into one. So all I have to do in the morning time is grab the remote, hit power if it's cold, and I'll have some heat. So let's get this stuff packed up, and I'll meet you guys up top. All right, guys, just jumping up inside of the tent right now, and come to think about it, it's actually been quite a while since we've done this. Haven't filmed up here in a while. I've just been crawling up here and leaving the camera down in the truck. So up here with two dogs. I got Boomer and Flint up here. Give you guys a little look here. The door out that way. So what I'm going to do is, even though it is starting to cool off, it's really not cold. So I'm just going to leave the mesh done up. And what I like to do is just bring this solid panel up about 10 to 12 inches on both sides. So right now I've got the light strips on. We've got like a turquoise kind of greenish blue going on. I've got the hanging pedal light above my head, which I am going to turn off momentarily once I get in here and get settled. Other door right here is where I was looking at the sunset. Can't see it anymore, but look at this. Yeah. I think these guys are done for the day. So that's hilarious. Flint is already like almost 3 times the weight of Boomer. Easily double the size. I haven't really picked Boomer up a whole lot lately. Like pick him up off the ground. Sure, he jumps on my lap. Sure, he lays next to me. But actually physically picking him up, because he's agile. He can run, he can jump, he really knows how to get around. Flint doesn't really know how to get around yet. So you're constantly picking him up, moving him here, picking him up over this, over that. So picking him up, he's very, very heavy. Picking Boomer up to come up here, I was shocked. I was like, whoa, this is like a squirrel. So definitely a big size difference. But they play like they're still puppies, the two of them, which is hilarious. So they're tired out. They're done for the evening. They're not going to move. And I'm basically done with the camera for the evening. I want to pop on a movie, get changed out of some of these clothes. I've got some sweatpants and some other clothing up here. And then hit the hay and then up early tomorrow for coffee. So I'll say goodnight to you guys. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful, wet and rainy morning out here today. As you can see, Flint is very happy to be right here today. Boomer's doing his rounds, checking things out. There's a rabbit over there that he's sniffing out. Flint doesn't know what it is yet, but he will figure it out sooner or later. So last night it poured with rain, like 5 to 6 hours, just downpour, up in the tent, totally warm and cozy with the movie on, poured with rain. So much rain that the awning was actually saturated in big puddles this morning. And yeah, temperatures also took a change. So I ran the diesel heater for maybe 15 minutes this morning. That was it, and it was too hot. So really didn't need the diesel heater last night. Right now, this time of year in my area is very, very kind of sporadic with temperatures. You'll get really cold mornings, temperatures will change, and then you'll have a morning where it's actually really quite warm. So this is one of those rainy, warm kind of mornings. It's cooled off, but it's not totally cold and it's not totally warm. So these guys are going to get their play out of them. They've had their food and water. I'm having a hot drink today, not a coffee this morning. Instead, I grabbed one of these milk teas from my local Asian market, and these things are incredible. Of all kinds of flavor, these hidden in the truck. It's just a nice little change to get out of the coffee, something a little bit different, just to keep the days moving. And milk tea is definitely the way to go for me. So with the truck completely soaked, the awning soaked, the tent soaked, it does have to get packed up. But the bonus with this particular awning system that I chose for the truck and this style of hard shell wedge tent, 5 minutes and both of them are packed up. Not even joking. I've got this down to a science where I literally fold the legs up, collapse it in, fold it, strap it, zip the bag, jump up top, pull the rods out of the supports for the awning on the tent, drop it down, done. So fast, so simple. No balling up tents, no crawling around, just really, really fast and really simple. So that is a stress reliever. It is currently raining right now. Very, very, very fine mist is just pushing through here, which is awesome. I'm going to sit back, enjoy my hot drink before I start the pack up process, and then we're going to get out of here. So I'm going to wrap this video up right here. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We will be out on many, many adventures to come, especially with the hot tent season rolling in and cold weather approaching, and I'm very excited. So thank you guys for watching. Going to enjoy this, and I'll catch you in the next one.